COVID was a great reminder for everyone of the importance of biosecurity, and it quickly spreads quite large and spreads out. It gave us that tangible, real-world approach for humans to bring it back to the livestock sector and say, well, this is the sort of thinking you should do for your industry because a disease can come across that no one's aware of.
So we're here at the Saleyards Australia Conference in Rockhampton, and with me I have Ben Fahy from AgVic. Ben, would you like to tell us a bit about your role at AgVic and what you're doing up here?
Yeah, certainly. So I work with Agriculture Victoria in the Chief Veterinary Office's unit, and I'm a part of the livestock traceability team. So my role is manager livestock traceability. I've got a very talented team, small team, but we interact with all of our livestock species, including those that aren't red meat based, so horses, we've got poultry, cattle,
Yes.
sheep, goats, pigs, and we work with them on the traceability systems that they have in place, whether it be property identification codes for
Yes.
all the species,
Yes.
through to a really complex and robust traceability systems for our cattle and sheep and goat,
Yes.
which are all electronic individual based.
Individual.
So Saleyards Australia, the conference, really key part for us. Saleyards are an integral part of that movement information that's collected for each animal.
Yep.
A great resource for us in terms of touch point. You get software providers, agents, buyers, producers, transporters,
Yeah.
all mingling in that same group. And so to come here in Rockhampton to the annual conference, great opportunity to meet and greet, but also
Yes.
see all those people that we work with. And you know, Marnie from my team is here.
Yes.
She works at Saleyards daily.
Yes. Yes.
To then interact with them face to face, great opportunity for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we it's our 10th birthday, and we obviously started working together in the sheep yards when Sheep EID came in.
Yes.
Do you want to, I guess, elaborate a bit about some of the pre-work that went in before we even, or the industry necessarily even really knew it was coming?
Yeah, and look, and congratulations on the 10 years. It's
Thank you.
It's exciting to see AgriNous, you know, getting bigger and better. But you know, you talk about that start to Sheep EID. I think for us in Victoria, it started probably back in 2010, 2011 when we started doing work in plants to look at some technology around hook tracking. But I think for us, we've always known that the hardware is probably the simple thing. Once you get it right, the software was always a key to getting the data, maximising the data, ensuring that it was simple for whoever's using it, the technology, the tag, the hardware, but backed up by that software. And you know, it was early days. You know, I think you know, 2016 we really started to see some thoughts going in that we needed a more robust traceability system for sheep and goats. Got it. And you know, it was around the same time that AgriNous came about, and for us it was a really really great time, exciting changes in the hardware for the readers, but really exciting to see some companies like AgriNous pop in and just offer some better solutions that were there, and solutions that wasn't even improving on what was there. It was just completely out of the box, different solutions. Different, yeah, that's completely different. That's it. Yeah.
Because Victoria was the first to go for cattle EIDs back when? That was like over 20 years now. Well,
yeah, 1999 was when we first moved to that. Yeah, yep. And again, you know, that was a market access issue due to some residues in livestock being picked up by a trading partner overseas, and so we realised that we needed to have a really robust system to trace individual livestock, not just mobs as they move around. And then if you fast forward now, when we see the impact of you know, the spread of foot and mouth across different countries around the world, lumpy skin disease, having this individual traceability system that can track individual animals but cohorts of those animals very quickly is you know, it's it's an amazing tool that we've got sitting there.
Yeah, it really is world class, isn't it? You field international inquiries a bit, and how does the partnership between AgVic and the other states or integrity systems, how does that kind of all work and hang together for those that might not realise just what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, I mean, it's across every aspect of our country. The state and territory, they all manage individual legislation for traceability. But in saying that, it's an industry government partnership. So integrity systems are a real integral part to managing the database, the LPA, Quality Assurance Program system, vendor declarations. They're that really key link into the producer level. But then you've got to rely on all of the support networks, and AgriNous is clearly one of those that just facilitates. They're not involved in the trading or the ownership or the selling of the livestock, but they're integral to capturing that traceability data, which we do get delegations, quite a lot of delegations coming in to have a look. And I think, Australia's system, albeit the cattle and sheep and goat in 2017 for Victoria,
yes,
an electronic system is it's probably considered pretty mature now. I think it's still world leading, if not world leading. It's up there with every other traceability system that's around the world.
Yeah, gotcha.
In its ability.
And are there any parallels you can draw on other livestock industries outside red meat or dairy, or other comparisons? Like, why? It used to be mob based. It's still a bit contentious in the states that are just getting going on it now. Can you sort of help us understand a bit more about why that decision got made to go to individual animal tracking, and what do other industries do, like pork or poultry? Yeah,
so look, I mean, we always say a traceability system has to be fit for purpose for the species and the way that industry is set up. And so pork is a prime one, very much a very integrated system. They're born on the same property. It's controlled. Yeah, exactly. Yep, there's a lot of animals that move direct to the abattoir from place of birth, or if they don't, they'll go to a grow-out facility and then they'll stay there, usually in the same company, and then they'll head off to an abattoir. So you don't see this significant trading, and you don't see this significant movement of livestock through saleyards, feedlots, transit stock going in and out, that sort of thing. So that ability to quickly identify an individual animal and link it back to what we use in Australia, which is property identification codes on our database, electronic database, and then say where it's moved in its lifetime, but more importantly, what animals has it interacted with in that time, or what animals have come in after it onto that property, massively important. So that's where your cattle and your sheep and goat is really an individual, every time it moves, full life history system for us. You look at other industries, so we have had issues with the poultry industry for avian influenza.
Yeah.
Again, a very sophisticated system in their own right, but it's not a nationally agreed industry government partnership for that, because it's very much a integrated system. You've got the companies that grow out the birds or produce the eggs. They're the same companies that breed them. They're the same companies that usually process them as well. So you don't see this moving around onto different properties and different ownership there.
And it was an interesting question that came from the floor earlier today with somebody to one of the feedlot presentations. If a bird drops out of the sky right smack bang in the middle of a feedlot, what happens then?
Yeah. Well, it is, and it's fascinating the different questions, as you say, that come in that you don't even think about that. But I mean, it's at the moment we've got the H5 issue. Australia has been free of it for a very long time. The only country that has been free of it. We're now seeing it in wild birds coming in. Yeah. A lot of surveillance going on to ensure that hasn't gone into any of our domestic or other birds in Australia. But it is something that each industry needs to be aware of. What are the biosecurity risks? And traceability is but one part of that. it enables you to trace livestock. There's a lot of tracing that goes on in a disease event that isn't livestock based. Feed trucks,
yes,
vets, livestock agents, transport trucks, that sort of thing. So with a traceability system for livestock, it's one part of the jigsaw that we need from a whole of biosecurity sort of
preparedness.
Approach.
Yeah, great,
Exactly.
great. Because a very good friend of mine's a pig farmer, and I've done the whole shower in, shower out sort of things.
Yep.
It's sort of talking about fit for purpose. It doesn't really work on a 10,000 acre property, does it?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, the intensive industries have probably done this a whole lot better, because if a disease gets in, it tends to knock everything out because you've got them in such an intensive space. So they're very good at it. They've got good quality assurance programs, pretty robust biosecurity programs. But we've seen now with the red meat industry, LPA as a quality assurance program bring in that biosecurity requirement, which is a really good start. It gets people thinking about what is biosecurity, what do we need to do to protect us just in day to day, not in an emergency situation, but prior to proactive, put some stuff in place that gives us a high level.
To just stop it getting in the first place.
Limit that.
I thought that was a good presentation from, and her name escapes me at the moment, I think it was Rachel from the Feedlotters Association.
Alpha, certainly. They do a great job with their sort of feedlot QA.
No, very good. And I guess there was a more recent event that was worldwide and hitting the two-legged species. There might be some parallels we could draw.
Yeah, look, that's it. Well, and COVID was a great reminder for everyone of the importance of biosecurity.
Yeah.
And for us, it gave us that tangible, real-world approach for humans to bring it back to the livestock sector and say, well, this is the sort of thinking you should do for your industry, because a disease can come across that no one's aware of. But if you've got basic things in place, you can manage it a little bit better. So COVID for us was an interesting one because obviously there was tracing. We had this tracing. There was trace back, which is where someone had been and may have picked up the disease.
Yes.
And then there's trace forward. Who did they come in contact with and where have they gone?
Yeah.
And that's very applicable for us when we have a disease event. It'll be that individual animal and a location, but then we've got to be able to quickly go and say, where had it been? Where could it have picked up the disease? But more importantly, all those animals that were with it, where have they gone? And who's come in contact with those and where have they gone?
Yeah.
And it quickly spreads quite large and spreads out,
I once upon a time I thought I wanted to be a vet, and I'm pretty happy I did go down that track, and particularly I don't envy the head vet of Victoria if they're the ones it basically lands on them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
If something happens and everybody stop the trucks, and I went to an AgVic event in Bendigo, Saleyards it was only a couple of months ago. Do you want to, I guess, shed a bit more light on for the listeners around some of the preparation work that does actually go on, down to the level of going, how are we going to feed these animals? Because the Saleyards play a vital role there in the event of an outbreak, don't they?
Yeah, certainly. So, as you say, the Chief Veterinary Officers are the ones that are responsible for disease management within the states and territories. Commonwealth have an overarching responsibility across the country, but it is the Chief Veterinary Officers that have to make those decisions. So, in the event of a disease incursion, we might call for a livestock standstill. And as you said, Saleyards play a really key role in managing livestock that might be on the Saleyard, but also as a way that transporters or livestock in transit between two different properties can come and offload livestock, manage them during that stock standstill. Stock standstill is really important from my perspective as a tracing person, because it stops everything, gives us just time to get a handle on what's moved recently and where we think the disease may have spread to or come from, before we then really start movements back up again and can control the movements. So Saleyards are really key to that, and a lot of preparation around what are their plans. They've worked hard to develop individual plans for a livestock standstill as part of their, all the different other plans they've got in a sale yard.
Got it.
How do they manage the welfare of those animals? How do they manage the stock feed, testing? Where is the space? What sort of spaces can they have? How do they manage entry-exit points?
Yes.
For people coming and going and livestock. So it does require a lot of thought, and it's been a really, really great project that has been a great industry government again working to ensure that if you do it now, you're so far ahead of the game when something does go wrong. In that preparation, think through what could go wrong, what have we got right, where do we need to change to be able to manage it.
Yeah, for sure. No, very good. And so, back onto some of the AgriNous side of things, we now move a hell of a lot of animals on the NLIS database when you look at all the different places that use us now all over Australia. Have you got any or sort of recent sort of memories around where potentially that data is just, I guess, so important for maybe not even necessarily a response to an outbreak, but in some of those exercises?
Yeah, and look, we do run exercises, so we test the system. There are national exercises, catcher exercises, cattle catcher, cow catcher, sheep catcher. They're really important for us to test all of the systems, from the database through to the communications But I think back to the role that AgriNous plays, that data collection is just amazing in terms of what can be there. And I know there's information that we've spoken to you about that you can tell us prior to, say, the final information going in the livestock database, which is key to us getting a really quick handle on what goes on. So, we will regularly be testing animals for diseases, differential diagnosis, and so when we do that, our team looks to then trace and see if we can do some role playing, I suppose, or exercise work to test our systems, and certainly the analysed database is a key bit of information. But there's other bits of information that we get, and certainly one of the examples we use was you were able to tell us where an animal was up in the drafting process prior to that information hitting the database. And that's amazing for us to be able to quickly say, we think there's a property that's selling animals in a sale yard, we don't know where they are, and you can tell us, actually they've been drafted at this point, or they've drafted or they're still in the pre-draft pens.
This is the actual pen they're in.
Yeah, exactly. So back to that original software sort of being the key to this. It's so much more than just collating that information, allowing a sale manager to put their information to the database, or the agents collecting that information and putting it to the database. It's I think it's got a massive benefit from a biosecurity perspective, but then you look at all the efficiency gains and
I was just about to ask you about that. With whether it's since cattle or since the sheep idea, are you starting to see more uptake on farm for just operational gains around individual animal management? Yeah.
Look, we are. I think it's as people understand that that little bit of technology in the tag in the ear, which they have to do. It's a mandatory requirement. If you pair that with the hardware, the readers, and a really smart piece of software, there's a whole raft of data you can start to delve into and have a look at and get some efficiencies. And not only efficiencies, but recently we had the opportunity to head up to Gundagai Lamb and have a look at their system.
Great?
Amazing system. And so they've got a really amazing system that picks up the individual animal and picks up all the attributes of that animal as it goes through on the processing chain. And then can deliver some really great metrics to the producer.
And they've brought that all the way through to their pricing grids, haven't they?
It's fascinating. It is, isn't it?
Yep.
It's quite good. And then, to the point that you then buy some of their lamb and you can use a QR code, and it gives you some of that metrics back to you as a consumer.
No,
so
it's a big
amazing,
thing, isn't it?
I think it'll be a growth area as people understand more and more the areas that they can start to improve in or get some information back on to drive that change on farm or change somewhere in the supply chain.
Yep.
To meet either metrics or just improve.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. No, very good. So a bit of a change of pace. What do you do outside when you're not thinking about traceability, Ben? What do you get up to?
Look, I mean...
We cross paths a bit on the weekends every now and then, don't we?
We do, yeah. Usually at some shows, that sort of thing. Like you, I'm a runner.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the running. I get on the horses, ride the horses a bit.
Oh, you're a horseman. I didn't know that.
Yeah, horseman. Yeah, no, it's
exactly.
good way of getting rid of money.
Yes.
The horses, yeah. The boys are riding, so I figured I may as well get back into it. But
yeah, great.
So enjoy that. The ag industry and livestock sector is a pretty exciting sector. My boy's into Suffolk.
Yes, great.
So, you know, the work sort of drifts into the home type thing. It's but no, it's good.
Yeah, very good. Have you got any questions for me?
Look, I suppose my, you know, the next steps for AgriNous, we see you know, really providing a integral tool to the Saleyards sector. And then we've talked about some of the buyers then accessing it. And then, you know, what else can AgriNous do to start to, you know, utilise that data for your clients to really,
sure. I guess outside of what we do for Saleyards and stock agents, and there's, as you know, there's a fair few buyers that use our system now. We are looking at how we can extend that out to sellers and set up more, whether it's basic tools for them or integrations with systems that they already have, or better integrations with integrity systems, for example, just trying to solve problems that haven't been solved yet. We don't want to be trying to do Me Too type work. But the other big area for us, and I think, and it shone through today in the one of the presentations from Sharon from MLA and Athol from Fraser's, we're doing a fair bit with the transport guys as well. And again, not trying to reinvent any wheels at all. It's more just saying, well, if we can set up the authorization level and the right data and just enough data so that we don't breach any privacy or commercially sensitive type you know, constraints that everybody faces. We want to be able to, you know, give them put some things in their hands that helps them, and some of the beta trials have been really encouraging, where they're already starting to save diesel and just with knowing, you know, what's going on in the yard for their clients, and to be able to send the right trucks, the right number of trucks, and get timing right and things like that. So that's probably
that'll be exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Because I mean, you know, we talked about it today, haven't we? In all the different discussions, that transport is across every bit of it. You know,
well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, that's what we've always thought.
See what benefits there are for them, and engaging that sector is a really key part.
That's right.
To it, I think just one of the other things that I haven't covered off on is, you know, that ability, and obviously the transport sector is a great one, but you go back to where you're based in Saleyards and that sort of thing. That ability for the Saleyards to access that help from you, from AgriNous, has been a really key driver. Sheepy ID was an introduction that there are a lot of unknowns.
Yes.
But I think, companies that can provide that really key hands-on, quick advice when there is an issue, which we're talking with technology, we're talking electronic stuff. There's always going to be some ups and downs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that ability to quickly get on and say, well, we think it's this or it's this, I think has been a really key to it from your support in terms of back to the industry.
Yeah, no, great. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we like you. I mean, we're particularly on the support side of the business. We're all farm kids at heart, and we've just all share in that sort of bit of passion for the industry, and I guess it just accept the fact that it's basically 24/7, doesn't wait for anyone.
No, that's right.
It can get pretty challenging at times, but no, we like those challenges, and
It's
Yeah.
good.
So,
It doesn't stop, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
The
It really
livestock
doesn't wait
sector,
for
it just-
anyone.
Yeah, no,
But,
it keeps going.
But no, Ben, well, I think we could chat for hours, and we often do.
We do.
But
it's very enjoyable discussions we have.
Yeah, we might wrap it there. There is one thing that I've been liking to end the shows with, and there's been a theme today around change.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything recently that you've changed your mind about?
Look, that's an interesting one.
It doesn't have to be about traceability.
Yeah. No. Have I changed my mind about anything? Look, I can't think of anything at the moment. I am, and it's interesting, that change management process. We did force a lot of change on industry.
Yeah.
I'm one of the ones that find it very difficult
Yes.
in terms of change. It is.
There you go.
It is somewhat a difficult. Back to your example, we're all part of the industry. We also can reflect on, if someone forces change on me, I find it really difficult. So I suppose that awareness to make sure that from a government perspective, we're very clear on why the changes are occurring. What did we need to change for?
Yes.
What are the driving reasons for, the benefit for? And, I suppose on that note, we look at we're a $82-83 billion industry a year now across the country. It's a pretty dynamic industry.
Yeah.
So change occurs, but we've got to be sure that we do it right, and we understand why we're doing it, and make that very clear to both government and industry. I guess. But no, I can't think of anything that I haven't sort of, or have thought, gee, I might change my mind on that.
Even on how you'd go about changing the slasher on the back of the tractor?
Well, actually, that's a good point. Yes, I probably would, change it. Might wear a helmet maybe while I'm doing that sort of thing. It's a good point, yes.
No, very good, mate. Very good. Well, thanks, Ben. It's been a great chat.
Yep,
and
enjoyed it.
Look forward to continuing on working together.
Wonderful. Thanks for the opportunity. It's good.
Worries. Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe or follow. And if you've got any feedback, jump on our website and you'll find all our contact details there. We're all ears. And also, if you've got anyone you want us to get on the show, please don't hesitate. We're really open to that too.